5 is that you do have a bit of leeway in that you can lose a game or two and sort of still get back into it. We saw that in the last round, coming almost down from 4-1 to tie it up to 4-4. So there is that potential that I guess even a KMS, if they do slip up one game or two here, the way that the format kind of says the best team will win over those 9 or so games.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's what's especially interesting about the first to 5 is you get a lot more rounds with full battle rights, which some I guess would consider the optimum way to play, and you will always be guaranteed a round with all the battle rights, whereas in best of 5 that's not always the case.
So KMS coming out on those very green mounts of theirs, the Pearl on the top-hand side, trying to get some of that early damage in, as well as the Jade. They're going to have a lot of long-range damage, quite obviously, so the Rook is going to have to be very perfect when he goes in to get the damage.
Yeah, and the Lucy does have a lot of healing, but you can get bursted down pretty fast, so it's a bit risky, though there is that panic, which we are just seeing use made of. But the Pearl, again, has a lot of healing, just like the Lucy, so unless you focus down either the Jade or the Pearl quickly, you're going to get them healed up to max quite quickly. And we're seeing that on both sides, actually.
Pretty even right now, actually. 91% to about 90% health on both sides, actually all even up. The Lucy's getting a lot of healing involved at the moment, the Pearl as well. So it's a bit of a stalemate right now. I think for Easy Battlerito, their stake is the Rook has been surviving for so long. He is going to pop his ultimate already, though, trying to get some damage, but it's not going to work. The Crippling Goo coming out as well from Sacrifusion onto the Pearl. Gets him rather low. Stormross at about 100 health, but will self-heal as well as a couple of orbs and move back into favor. They're about 13% or so extra in health right now. KMS doing a really good job of keeping their distance and dealing with the Rook.
Yeah, and that Rook is getting quite low, but he's pretty risky because if he catches you out with a bit of CC, he can combo a lot of abilities into you, which we are seeing. But Stormross is doing a great job of just keeping Vanillabread alive. That's the nature of Pearl with a DPS. You can afford to sacrifice a bit of your health to keep that DPS going because the amount of DPS this Jade is putting out is huge. That's the second ultimate we've seen this round.
Yeah, definitely popping those explosive shells, getting the damage in. The Rook's getting extremely low, down to 47 health, gets a little heal, and he's going to be able to get back up once again. So it's been that sort of battle as we're down. The time has done. The arena's going to start shrinking inwards now, and this could actually be a potential good sign for the Rook, but he's so low. If they can keep him alive a little bit longer, in fact, and even take the Pearl down, Stormross goes down, and this is now looking bad for Vanillabread all of a sudden.
Yeah, and so Vanillabread really going to have some strong play here. Getting caught in that rock, not good, and potentially should have cancelled that ultimate to get out of it, and now going to run out of the map. That's an interesting little play, and so I think now this is going to be very tough. Though Vanillabread almost with an ultimate, but is going to fall.
Yeah, that flask coming out from Sacrifusion causing him to run out of the map for that short amount of time. And really, in a way, they won that map by the patience and the perseverance. They never went over the top. They never tried to do anything too fancy, and they kept their distance, going in at the right times with the Rook and the Lucy and Sacrifusion doing a really good job of keeping him alive. And Stormross was doing a lot of healing as well, but in the end just couldn't take that much damage for too much longer.
And part of it was that a lot of abilities were being landed on the side of Easy Battlerito, and that's what got that Pearl so low. In fact, I think at one point, both ultimates from Easy Battlerito landed on Stormross.
So again, coming in early. There's the invulnerable from the Rook trying to get onto Vanillabread. This time, all nice and early. Is going to get silenced and interrupted. Stormross popping the bubble as well, trying to keep his teammate alive. Rook going very ham early on, pops the counter, and now is invulnerable. Sacrifusion keeping those heals up, doing a really good job of letting Judaka stay onto his target by giving him those heals. He's going to take a little bit of damage there, but so far, really good teamwork.
Yeah, and this time, Vanillabread and Stormross doing a much better job. That Rook is now very hurt compared to last time where we saw both teams at 90% for pretty much the whole team. Both teams now, they've sort of figured out how their opponent plays, and they're wanting to go a lot deeper.
Yep. Stormross actually has his ultimate available if he wanted to use it. He's not going to quite use it just yet. Judaka is still hanging around on around 150 health, staying alive as they start to turn their attention now over to Sacrifusion. So Easy Battlerito doing a nice job of still keeping this a long game. They're not dying early as the explosive shells come out from Vanillabread, trying to get some damage in, but it's not going to really work. The Tremor coming out now from Judaka.
That's the second time Stormross has tried to counter the Tremor, which has both times resulted in a lot of health loss. Only on 99 health now, but able to heal up a bit. And this Rook is looking very low, and that's the Rook gone. This Lucy now in a lot of trouble. Without the Rook to peel, surely you've got to see Sacrifusion fall.
Yeah, Sacrifusion does pop the crippling goo, but it's not going to be enough. Falls rather shortly to Stormross and Vanillabread. And once the Rook falls, all the attention's going to go over to that Lucy in there. And all the attention is on the Rook straight away. They're not going to be letting that Rook sort of do what he wants. And so whilst he's alive, it does give the Lucy a chance to get those heals off and to be a pest in the backline. But the second he falls down, she's not going to be able to do a 1v2 solo. She's a support.
Yeah, and now coming into this, are we going to see a repeat of last game? Last game we saw the first point go one way and then the next 4 go the other way. So the question is, will we see a repeat of that? But I think it really comes down to how well Easy Battlerito focused down Stormross, because that's what worked for them the first time. But that second time, not quite as good. They put a lot more emphasis onto the Jade, which just allows the Pearl to heal up the Jade.
Yeah, it's going to be Judaka going again for Stormross. He's taken a lot of damage already, down to around 120 health. That's about half. He's trying to charge back in, but Stormross doing a really good job with his bubbles and staying alive and not getting knocked around.
Yeah, Stormross is getting some pretty nice counters. Although sometimes they're used at the wrong time, generally he manages to counter things well. And due to his Battlerites, that does spawn a bubble. Now this Rook is in real trouble. Once again, the Pearl counter is procced, and the Lucy now in trouble in this 1v2. I think we're going to see a repeat of last time.
Those explosive shells doing so much damage, and what they do is they actually, I guess, both turn their attention over to the Rook at the right time, both getting a nice amount of damage. The Pearl can put out some good damage, not just a support and not just sort of, a control hero. It can do a bit of damage at the same time. And when they switch both onto the Rook, both popping their big damage abilities, he just falls so quickly that they cannot even... The Lucy can't heal, and they also do it when the Lucy's far away from the Rook, so she's not actually actively healing him. She has to try and run towards him. By then it's too late and he's dead.
Yeah, and that is one of the keys of Battlerite, making sure you stay together as a team, because generally how it happens is one person gets isolated, that person gets focused down, and then it's really tough for the remaining member of the team. So we've seen generally that focusing Stormross is the best thing for Easy Battlerito. Whenever they try and hurt Vanillabread, it just gets healed up and they don't manage to do anything.
So coming in once again, and as you said, they really do need to try and stick together a little bit more, but it's so difficult when the Rook is wanting to get into the face of KMS and by himself. It just means that Lucy has to make sure she's just sort of behind him and following up what he does and making sure she's around that area that she can get those heals in while still being a pest to the enemy team. Stormross taking a little bit of damage, will be able to dive away, come back out, pop the counter and stay alive. Get some heal onto Vanillabread, all while that's happening. Some great control from Stormross.
Yeah, but now Stormross in a bit of trouble. Lucy managed to land a number of shots. Stormross will be healing up again, though. But HP advantage is on the side of Easy Battlerito, and this Rook is just really getting in their face.
Yeah, they're wanting to tie this up, and look at this. Stormross by himself has to dive out of the way. The crippling goo as well is going to be a lot of damage happening as it's going to be Judaka keeping him trapped in there. That is some great control coming out from Sacrifusion and Judaka. Great teamwork, great coordination, and now they've just got to deal with Vanillabread.
Yeah, and this shouldn't be too tough. The Vanillabread does have those explosive shells, but I don't know whether he'll really want to risk it, because getting caught in that Rook ultimate could mean death.
And so down to 14% health now, 11 falling down. Will pop a desperate ultimate, gets cancelled and interrupted the silence on the Judaka. But Vanillabread holding on for dear life. He will not be able to hold on too much longer, and it's going to be 2-2 to kick things off. So no repeat from last game, Gaima.
No, unfortunately there won't be. But I mean, maybe this game will just be the trading points game. Everyone loves a bit of a trading points game. Both these teams actually seem quite even. And this could really go either way from here based on what we've seen so far. as both these teams have the teamwork that they need, but they also both make enough mistakes for the other to be able to capitalize. So things could really go either way unless one of these teams can really hone in and get rid of those mistakes.
It doesn't really feel like there's I guess, an advantage to either team, and so you could probably say a case for KMS that they do look the slightly stronger team. But to be fair, Easy Battlerito, when they do what they're setting out to do, they're actually winning rather comfortably. It's when they lose, they actually lose because the Rook just gets taken down so quickly that the Lucy can't get the heals in time. In fact, a Sacrifusion is doing a lot of damage onto Vanillabread. In fact, he is really low right now. He's getting a bit of heals from Stormross after he had a lot of attention from the Rook. But was a bit of a tough start. They are going to be able to heal back up now.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the match, hasn't it? Both teams just healing up constantly. It's really tough to get them down, but Vanillabread with a bit of grey health, that could be what makes the difference. Rook's just going to jump straight onto Pearl, doing a great job, but Pearl's so slippery with that jump.
Yeah, Stormross taking a lot of damage there too. Was able to heal back up, but has lost a bit of health as well into the grey. As Judaka is doing so much damage while still getting healed comfortably by the Lucy at about 90% to 70% now to kick things off. There's the stun. The armor break will happen as well, but the counter coming out from Stormross, and then the charge from Judaka on point. He's going to be able to get some more damage on. They're constantly putting out the damage while still getting the heals from Lucy, as finally KMS turn their attention over to Sacrifusion, who's starting to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, but this Rook not far off an ultimate. If they can get another one, things could turn around very quickly. But that charge takes him out of the map. Lucy now a bit isolated, and that is going to allow for some damage trading. But still, Easy Battlerito with a lot of health. Yeah,
and KMS had a chance there because Lucy, as you said, was by herself as Judaka charged away. The crippling goo does come out. Vanillabread gets knocked back into it. He's going to go down, and it's another kill. Great combination from Sacrifusion and Judaka. They are starting to get on top and comfortably. The crippling goo seems to be working really well. When used, that is just good ult management.
Yeah, definitely. And Judaka's doing such a great job of just displacing people and keeping them in the crippling goo. And this is going to be really tough now for Stormross. Has to try and get the 1v2. Does have the ultimate available, and that could be an opportunity, but has to use the bubble shield, which means that energy is gone, and the Rook ultimate does that job of finishing it off. You do not want to be caught in a Rook ultimate.
So 3-2 now in favor of Easy Battlerito, and you've got to give credit to the Rook and the Lucy because I guess as a combination, you're both putting so much trust in each other. You know, the Rook is getting into the face of the enemy team, knows he needs to be getting healed, as well as the Lucy knows this guy's got a peel for me.
Yeah, definitely. And that's how kind of like I would call it the healer and tank. I don't know if Battlerite likes those labels, but that's essentially what it is. Rook just gets in the face, healer keeps them up. It almost seems a bit like a WoW raid, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a little bit, just with these two other random guys you got to kill, but without any loot at this stage of the game, as Stormross pops the bubble once again, keeping Judaka at bay calmly. Stormross able to heal back up, but he's already got a little bit of grey health to his name. Gone as Judaka swings, goes berserk. Can he get those healing orbs as well? Yes, he does, and that's going to be able to give him a bit of an advantage. But still, this is a little bit better coming out from KMS. They're getting a lot of damage onto the Rook whilst distracting the Lucy.
Yeah, but it's really hard to get that Lucy down far enough to get her into the grey health zone because she just heals up as soon as you try and do anything. But now this Jade is isolated. It's their chance. They can capitalize on Vanillabread, but Vanillabread going to use her escapes, and a good opportunity once again for Easy Battlerito. They just keep on focusing them down.
Yeah, though Vanillabread continues to get focused. He got down about 100 health. Should be able to start getting a little bit of health from Stormross, but he's lost a lot of health at the moment. The dive and just trying to turn this back around onto Judaka, but still, it's looking like the control is coming out from Easy Battlerito. The crippling goo is helping.
Yeah, and once again, this crippling goo just working so well. Nice fish coming out from Stormross. And that's going to allow Rook to take a lot of damage, but Pearl is still really low.
And now the Tremor coming out. Gets silenced, though, actually, from the Jade in Vanillabread. He's going to stop that midway through, but all the damage is still in favor of Easy Battlerito. They're at about 70% health to 50% health in total. Vanillabread and Stormross are falling low. In fact, Stormross, and there's another crippling goo on top of that Tremor. That is just going to be wiped from 50% to 0. Stormross not going to be able to survive that. A nice cheeky stealth now, as well as the explosive shells coming out from the Jade, but 1v2 situation. Rook, though, falling low. And in fact, if he can take down the Rook, he could have a chance to 1v1 the Lucy.
Yeah, definitely. And now the Lucy is isolated, going to be able to get some damage in, and that's going to be really helpful. and that's actually allowed Lucy to lose some max health, but you've got to admit this Jade is so low, this is going to be so tricky to 1v1.
And the arena is shrinking. There goes the Jade and Vanillabread. That's going to put it at a checkmate. 4-2 in favor of Easy Battlerito. And KMS not really doing well.
Yeah, I expected them to come out swinging, but clearly I've underrated the Jade and the Lucy and Rook, because it's working so well. Lucy's healing potential is keeping them in the hit point advantage consistently. I think it's only been a few times where we've seen them fall in overall HP.
Not the greatest start here from Easy Battlerito, though. They have separated already, taking quite a little bit of amount of damage. Can they get back to what they're doing best? Yes, they can. The armor break already onto Vanillabread, who's down to about 100 health already. This is a really good start for them after a bit of a poor charge in. They've got back into what they've been doing really, really well, which is synchronizing, getting a lot of damage onto a single target, focusing him down, and getting the kills. They've definitely got that game plan down pat.
Yeah, and now Vanillabread is going to take a lot of damage, though the explosive shells is ready, so if they can set that up well, that could be especially effective. But against this Rook, you don't want to immobilize yourself by using that explosive shell, so they've got to be really careful about when they use it.
And Rook almost actually have that tremor if he wants to use it. Just got silenced. There it comes now. No, in fact, pops it. Now invulnerable. And it's actually Vanillabread who's really light, 58 health. There's the tremor. One hit, gets silenced and stopped. But I don't see Vanillabread holding on. And it's looking like Easy Battlerito is going to get an easy win in this one. Unless Pearl from Stormross could pull something out of that. Can't see that one happening. So that should be the win to Easy Battlerito, 5-2. In fact, there's the GG in chat. Remembering to those who are active in chat, we've got another mount code to give away from Disconcur. So make sure you're popping around in chat, giving your thoughts on the game as they're happening. As Garma, this one's all but done.
Yeah, and it seems like Stormross is going to just try and keep delaying the inevitable. Maybe waiting for the opportune moment to use Jaws, but it doesn't look very easy and going to get knocked outside of the arena. Surely that's going to be that, but nope, going to dive.
He gets one, but so low in health, he's not going to be able to survive this one. It's just delaying the inevitable, and in the end, he should be able to fall down. Judaka and Sacrifusion. Great teamwork from them. You could definitely feel their connectivity between the two heroes that just seemed better than KMS.
Yeah, definitely, and they just worked so well. Every single time the Crippling Goo came out, Judaka would do such a great job keeping people in it, and Crippling Goo isn't that effective if the other team jumps out of it, but when you've got a Rook keeping people stuck in that damage over time, yeah, that's really going to work well.
So there it is for round 3. KMS have been knocked out already to Easy Battlerito.